loves the shot inside 50. It's bouncing. Oh, Cody!
A row from Weightman and a finish that is off the top shelf.
Liberatore, Weightman, this'll suit him. That's regulation for Cody.
Outside of the boot and he converts. Weightman's going to lead! Oh, Weightman! One of the most exciting players to play our game is Cody Weightman from the Western Bulldogs, and I reckon you were quite enjoying those highlights. That intro was rolling.
Got caught staring, didn't I? Good to be on, boys. Thanks for that.
That's the pleasure you give all of us. It really is magnificent. How are you feeling with the final so close, and it is such a weird season? Yeah,
it's obviously always a long year, but this time of the year you start getting a bit excited, and there's hopefully some more footy around the corner than you knew you were going to have at the start of the year. And it's such an even comp, as you guys are just talking about. So it's a week at a time, unfortunately, which is pretty cliche, but we just got to get there and then hopefully we can have a real crack at it.
Just touching on that, have you had a go at the ladder predictor and just where the Bulldogs sit at the end of the day?
No, I've tried not to, but my whole TikTok and all that's full of the predictors and whatnot, so everyone's been loving it. And I don't think anyone will get it right.
On the weekend, you come up against the Crows and they brought a finals intensity to how they came at you guys. Was there a little hiccup that you needed?
Yeah, well, hopefully. We would have loved to not have it, but they were really impressive, and we probably let ourselves down a little bit in a few areas that we watched today at training and went through where we could have been a bit better. And so we'll aim to bring that this week against North and fix those little deficiencies, and hopefully we don't have the same result this week and we can get one step closer to those finals.
Yeah, it just felt like you couldn't get the run off the back line that you've been getting, especially out here at Marvel on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, our defenders all year, they've been sensational, and as a forward, you love it when you're getting rebound off the half-back and the ball's coming in with some good speed. And, we probably lost a little bit of that, but there was probably a few other factors too that hurt us on the weekend. And, full credit to Adelaide, they were very good too.
Earlier in the year, season was looking pretty dim. A lot of pressure was on the coach, and we see some of the headlines as they come up. But I believe you reached out personally, gave him a call just to check in on him. What has been the thing, or one or two things that has turned around your year?
Yeah, early there was a bit going on. We weren't helping Bevo in his case for the head coaching role, and it's pretty. It gets pretty full on, as you can see on the screen. There's everyone's quick to jump on or off people in our game, and I've probably been in that position when I've been copping a bit of flack or whatever. And Bevo I've got a really great relationship with Bevo. I'm very fortunate to have that. And he's one that's always called me and texted me just to check in, and we just happened to be speaking on the phone, and I just got checked in and said, "How are you actually going?" Sort of, they're obviously coming for you. As a player, you try not to see much, but you do see stuff, and it's obviously there. So he assured me he was fine, and I think he might sound like he appreciated having someone check in, but he's got a very good support network around him, like all of us at the club. We're very fortunate to have, and it's good to see that we've helped him out a little bit and got a few off his back over the last few weeks.
I'm sure he would have appreciated it. It is astounding to me, Tim, that anyone comes after this bloke. He has provided the Western Bulldogs with their best era ever in the history of the club.
He has. He's been a wonderful coach over a long period of time. Was there something structurally or in terms of the messaging that was in his coaching that changed during the season for the turnaround of the form? Like, up until last weekend, you're probably one of the forms, probably the form side of the competition.
Yeah, I think sometimes it kind of does just click, and I don't think there's any drastic change that causes that sometimes. It's more of the same, and we had a few new assistant coaches come in even this year, and maybe that just took a little while to warm up and get used to those new little intricacies that the guys like Brady were bringing into our defenders' play. And I think once we started to figure out the way that they were coaching us and putting that into our game, it sort of evolved, and then it started to really happen, and then you gain that bit of momentum, and footy's all about momentum, we know, and we're riding that wave, and a little hiccup on the weekend, but hopefully we can get back into that sort of form.
I know you've always been a student of the game. You watch the game and you follow it very, very closely. Did you always think that Rory Lobb was being played out of position and he wasn't set up back?
No, I didn't pick that one. In fact, when he went back, I was a bit nervous for him, but he did as well, and he's going really well.
Let's go down to the other end of the ground, mate. Who gets in your road the most? Is it Jamara, Norton, or Sam Darcy?
Nah, I'm probably getting in their road. I'm avoiding knees. I'm certainly not wanting to sit in front of Naughty. His knees are pretty pointy. So the big boys are good. They always make a good contest, and hopefully I'm around the feet when they get it down.
You speak about other players around the competition and who they think the best player in the comp is, and your captain in Bont is a pretty special player, and I think we'd all agree with that. Who's your most important? Is it him, or is it someone else that you view as more important than him?
Nah, hard to say there's anyone more important than Bonty. I mean, Lib is instrumental for us as well, and just gets it done every week. But yeah, when you're playing with Bonty, we talked about it today and yesterday a little bit. Just his influence on the game, even when things aren't going right, he's really driving us, pushing our momentum you can feel him as a player trying to push us over the line, and you normally don't notice that in game with players. I don't know if you might have, but I'm so in this zone that I don't notice who's playing well or not. And after the game, we got to vote for our teammate that did the best things. I've never got any idea, but he's a pretty safe bet. And yeah, he's very special to play with.
Cody, we've noticed in your play, and we saw the highlights at the start, the fact that when you kick the sausage, there's some nice celebration out of you. But the Hawks have taken it to a whole new level. We played some vision a few weeks back of what they're doing post-goal, and there you are, of course, and you almost put this on the map. What are they doing? What are Hawthorn doing? Where are they getting their stuff from?
Yeah, they're good. They're doing their research. I don't know. They're clever, and it's good to see. I really like it. It's a bit of personality, a bit of something else. Went to school with Connor Mack. He's a ripper, and had a bit to do with Guinea too, who's pretty prolific with the celebrations. And I love it. I think the fans love it, and certainly the kids coming through, I think they're feeding on it, and it's the TikTok generation, I think, and they're loving it.
Training's a little bit easier these days, mate, with the new digs down at Whitten Oval. Thoroughly enjoying what you've got built down there?
Yeah, absolutely. The club's done an amazing job with that. When I first got to the club, it was still all the old school stuff, and then we went through the whole redevelopment thing, which felt like for about 10 years, but we've finally moved into the new stuff, and it's pretty impressive. We've constantly got people having a look, and everyone's sort of blown away, and it just makes you want to go to the club and hang out there a little bit on your day off, doing ice bars and extra stuff. So certainly going to make us better.
Dislocated elbow. You showed us the tram tracks just before you jumped on the show, but how is it tracking? All good?
Yeah, no, elbow's going really well now. And shout out to Chris Bell and Zimmer and all the medical staff at the club. They're sensational. And Greg Hoy, I should say, the surgeon who fixed me up. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't nice. Keep popping it out every few weeks, and like I said, I didn't know how to put it back in, so it was a bit of pain, and it wasn't something I was enjoying. And so we had to obviously fix it up in season, which would have loved to have done it in a couple of months' time. But nice to have it fixed, and just being able to play, not conscious of my arm popping out and going the wrong way, is nice to go into the game reassured.
Playing that small forward role in modern day football can be a really difficult role. How do you find it? How do you judge your game at the final siren? How do you break it down?
Yeah, it's certainly something that I've worked on since getting to the club, because it's you can ride the roller coaster a bit, and the less you do that, I think the better you do find form and consistency. So understanding that you're going to have quieter weeks is a part of it, and I think just coming back to the fundamentals and the process of what makes you play good games, and doing that as much as you can, I think is important. And if you do that and you still don't play a great game, then you can sort of go to bed feeling all right about it. But generally, if you do get your I call it my bread and butter, then the sprinkles can come later if you get those right, but you don't get the sprinkles without the bread and the butter.
One of the things I love about watching you play is you always bring the energy and the enthusiasm to it. Doesn't matter how you're playing, whether you're getting the ball, you're not getting the ball. Has that been something you had to work on, or was that something that's sort of part of your FFS and personality? Yeah,
I think when I'm playing footy for a couple of hours, I feel really free, and it's my time of the week that we talk about it cliche, it's the best time of the week, but I do really enjoy that 2 hours, and there's no noise, and it's just doing what you dreamed of doing. So I naturally have a bit of excitement. Mix that with a couple of Red Bulls and a no-dose, and I'm feeling great when I'm playing. So, I think that certainly helps, and the boys seem to feed on that as well, and that's probably where my celebrations, you just get filled with adrenaline and you want to pass that on to everyone, and I think that helps get momentum going.
It's so important though, because I listened to Brian Goorjian talk about that, and with the Boomers and going away and playing in the Olympic Games in the last couple of weeks, and he said it was so important to have those guys that were prepared to be on the bench and provide that enthusiasm. It's exactly what you bring to the table each and every week. Yeah,
I think that's also a part of that stuff with the small forward. You don't know how well you're going to play each week, but they're the kind of things that you can bring each week, and whether it's the little blocks or the celebrating and helping your teammate up when he's just laid a tackle or whatever it is, you can still have a real influence on the game without touching the ball, and being able to do that every week just keeps you feeling like you're involved and doing your job.
You came out of the Haileybury footy factory. Yep. Some intel in there that there was a very similar Cody Weightman playing first 18 under Matty Lloyd. We work with Luke Darcy. We're all delighted at the fact that his son's already a better player than he was. But where is his best position? Where do you see Sam playing in 100 games' time?
I'd love to have him as a forward the whole time.
Yep.
He's great to rove off. He genuinely gets first hands, given how tall and long he is. He's just a competitor. He's super competitive and just wants to win at all costs, and one of those players that I'm loving playing with, so hopefully can keep him there for the next 100.
And just one final question for me, Bailey Smith. Where are you expecting him to be playing next year, alongside you?
Oh, I hope you're right. Yeah, I'd love to have Baz at our club. Not exactly sure on where he's at with that decision or not, and where the club's at, but when you have talent and you're able to draft talent like Baz, you obviously want to keep him at your club, and he's a really good fella and someone that's obviously played great footy for us in the past. So fingers crossed he's with us, but if he isn't, I'm sure the club will work that out.
The big question that Doggy fans will be wanting us to ask, can you win the whole thing this year?
Yeah, bloody oath. Yeah. I mean, it's a really open competition, but I think everyone believes that they can. That's still in the race, and we're very much 1 week at a time, because we can still certainly miss finals at the moment, which is crazy, but we're going to just do everything we can, win this week, hopefully then win next week, and find ourselves in finals and have a crack at it.
2016, here we come. The art show, tell us about this. You're very keen on the arts side of things, and we've got some vision that we're going to roll here on what you've got coming up. Tell us what this is about.
Yeah, it's probably something I've done a fair bit of my whole life, but started to do it a fair bit more and found it really helped my footy over the last couple of years, and it's something that's been a really good balancing thing off field, but it's probably something I'm really enjoying and wanted to express that to people that enjoy watching my footy and want to know a bit more about me, and there's a really good opportunity to do that with a charity exhibition, not wanting to make too much.
I was going to say, is that purchasable, any of that?
Yeah, I'm doing an event at the end of this month, so the 30th, the 31st of August and the 1st of September, they'll be open to the public, and have a little QR code next to a few pieces that people can purchase, and all the money's going to go to Make-A-Wish, where a charity that my family's done a fair bit of work for and do great stuff for the kids growing up with cancer and that haven't as fortunate upbringings and opportunities that I have. So hopefully a really good opportunity to give back to those kids and put a smile on some faces.
That's great. That is great. Do you do houses as well, like walls inside? I'm just doing a bit of renovating.
Yeah.
Not a mural. I don't want a mural. I just want walls painted.
Oh, no, that's not me. I'll get too bored doing that.
You think he's going to turn into a tradesman?
I thought he might. Be looking for something to do in the off-season.
Rory Love used to paint houses, so you might get him.
Get him.
You wouldn't need a ladder, old Rory.
Ceilings aren't high enough.
Wouldn't need a ladder. Hey, Cody, well done, mate. Your first 70-odd games have been absolutely brilliant. Cannot wait to see what the Dogs can do in September.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Well done, best man.
Love chatting to Cody Weightman, Mitch Cleary. Next in here, big news around Melbourne, among other things.